Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In this occasion, at First International Conference on the Teaching of English Literature 2020, I am Selvi Maryati from University of Bengkulu. I would like to present you about language attitude of SMA Negeri 10 Pentagon students in English, Indonesian, and regional language. Now we come to the introduction. Here, the topic is the language attitude of the student of SMA Negeri 10 Pentagon toward English, Indonesian, and regional language, and the importance as a basic information for school language acceleration program. In the previous study, language attitude of student of SMPN 2 Simanindo in Simarmata, sub-district of Simanindo, Samosir district against Indonesian. And the gaps is having found the similar research that conducted in boarding schools that have various kind of language. And the problems, what is the attitude of the student of SMA Negeri 10 Pentagon toward English, Indonesian, and regional language. While the objective of this study is to obtain information about the language attitude of students of SMA Negeri 10 Pentagon toward English, Indonesian, and student regional language. Next, the research methodology. Here, the research method is descriptive qualitative. The sampling, the student of SMA Negeri 10 Pentagon with total number 135 students, and the data collection got from field notes and observation. And the last one, data analysis, conducted by collecting the data, taking the field notes, reading and understanding the data, and taking a conclusion. Now, for the finding, the first one, positive attitude toward English arise when the students speak to speakers who use English as their first language or who cannot speak Indonesian. Some volunteer here from foreign countries such as Australia, Czech, and Vietnam. And the students are in the formal realm and speak to the speaker that they think have an interest in the use of English, such as English teachers, and the students speaking to certain speakers who have an English educational background or to someone who have the ability to speak English. And the last one, the students are in English speaking zone and on English speaking day. The second finding is positive attitude toward Indonesian emerged in a variety of formal contexts and among speakers from outside Bengkulu province and communicate with older speakers such as the PTK or educators and education personnel. The last finding, positive attitude toward regional language arise when the students are in the non-formal realm and the students communicate with the speakers from the same area and peer speakers. And the negative attitude appear in the opposite situation and condition. And next discussion is a positive and negative attitude of language according to some experts. According to Abdul, positive language users are the use of language in favor of good and correct language naturally and in accordance with the situation. And still according to Abdul, he argues that the use of negative language is ignoring the use of good, correct language, ignoring the language situation, not trying to correct himself in language errors. And according to Sumarno, in a multilingual society like Indonesia, a personal language attitude is determined by several factors, including the topic of conversation, the social class of language user, age group, gender, and usage situation. And from the picture here, in 2019, the students of SMA Negeri 10 Pentagon came from various regions within Bengkulu province and outside Bengkulu province. And also from the student profile, the origin of different regions also brings about cultural diversity, custom, and language. And based on the theory by the expert I said before, the attitude of SMA Negeri 10 Pentagon students toward English, Indonesian, and regional language can be grouped into two, formal context and non-formal context. And apart from the context of formality, Student language attitude can be seen in terms of who they are speaking to. They can also be grouped into four. Speaking with the speaker from outside Bengkulu province, with the speaker from within Bengkulu province, with the peer speaker, and with PTK or educators and educational personnel. And the last one, conclusion. Student attitude toward English, Indonesian, and regional language is depend on the context of situation and condition of when and where, also to whom they speak for. And the suggestion, it seems to be considered for further study to conduct more specific research on only one language item by looking in more detail at the factors that influence the student language attitude. So that's all my presentation. Thank you so much for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.